Hello again, friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to a Monday Night's Talking Town, here to discuss Ipswich Town 3, Norwich City 1. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you're on our audio platforms. Leave a 5-star review as we break down the memories, the insights, the celebrations, everyone played well. It's normally who played well and who didn't, but this week, every single player delivered. Us and our people, as Dara O'Shea said in the team talk. Just wonderful content coming from the football club in the last 24 plus hours. Great to see. And I'm joined by two wonderful people and you wonderful people at home. So please do get active. My voice is on the way out. Ben's is also there. Matt, how is your voice, Matt?
It's all good. Even though I was doing a load of shouts. You see, it's all the years of singing. You know, my larynx is perfect.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Excellent. We're going to do some Town in 60s in a moment. But first of all, Jem says they keep saying 16 years we've been in League One and Premier League. Haven't seen them. Who's the pride of East Anglia? Says Jem. Freedom Fishing, that's 2 years. Apparently they haven't beat us now. Well, I guess are you in the Premier League? Yeah, so I guess it's coming up for that. I did see a vlog, a Norwich City vlog, and they said the last time Norwich played and Norwich won. They didn't want to say who scored. I don't know why. But there we go. All right, let's do Town in 60. For those that are new here, every week we give our Town in 60 seconds to say your truth as a Town fan. What's on your heart? What's on your mind? Question, praise, normally a rant. But that's not going to be this week. I'm going to kick things off with you, Ben. Ben, you've got 60 seconds on the clock. 3, 2, 1, go, sir.
Football is revolutions. And at one time, it was Norwich who came down, the always pushing for the top 6, bouncing, had all the money, had everything. We were the lower minnows of the thing. We were going down in the transition. We hated our owners, weren't happy with the manager. And now it has completely flipped to 180. We are in the position Norwich were over us 7 years ago. It's more of a relief than anything. But I think as much as what the players got right, I think on the pitch, what I really think happened is I think the club got it right. I think in the build-up, the shithousery, the banter, the advertisements, all the little Nunez on the program, all the little things that they put in place, it seemed to me, which is an odd thing to say, that we were actually the only club up for this derby. And if you listen to all the Norwich fans at Pinken, they all say the same thing. We lost, but we don't think we really care. And I think their club didn't really care enough too. And thus, we won.
Excellent. You made it just before my new buzzer. Brilliant insight there. Brilliant commentary. Gavin says Ipswich were mustard. Mike D's watched the Jaden Philogene goal about 40, 50 times. You mentioned the Pinken there. I've got a little confession to make. I fell asleep last night reading the Pinken. I thought I was just going to bed. I thought I was going to pop on. To see what our dearest neighbours have to say, and I was there sometime, and I fell asleep with it, and the iPad was still awake there. Matt sat next to me the next morning, full of threads, and
you just shut your eyes. I just shut my eyes for 2 minutes, and then it was the morning.
Yeah, and I've got a question here from Joe. It says, "Gov, you better have the Matt Phillips picture with coffee in hand ready to show." Now, for those that don't know, the live reaction from the cup, which I'm thoroughly enjoying doing every home game, somebody said they had an image of you celebrating a Town goal, coffee mug or coffee cup in hand.
Yeah,
but sadly I can't show it because it wasn't you.
It wasn't me. In a completely wrong jacket, wasn't wearing a baseball cap, wasn't up in the top of the Pioneer stand,
and was smiling.
Yeah. Oh, well, we was all smiling yesterday, weren't we? So, yeah. I mean, generally, you'll tend to find, Ben, generally anyone who sees someone with glasses in Portman Road gets likened to me. You probably might get it.
Right, Matt, 60 seconds or less. Time goes now.
Yeah, I mean, look, what else can I say? But just wax lyrical and what everyone else has said. The 16 years he's in the bin now. It's down the toilet. They can't sing it anymore. They were singing it to us as we walked across the bridge, as we went past the station hotel, the 16 years and all that. Was all desperately hoping that that'll be the end of it, and it will be never to be repeated again. Fingers crossed. Hopefully they'll stay down and we go up. We won't have to play them again. But everything about the day was perfect, wasn't it? You had the blue pyro, which was still floating around as I was walking down to Portman Road some 20 minutes later. So that started out fantastically well. You had the atmosphere in the stadium. Big kudos to Blue Action for putting that banner together. It costs a lot of money and time to do all of that, and it's only up for about minutes, isn't it? It's a fair play to them. Wonderful. And of course, Ipswich, head and shoulders above this Norwich side. Worst Norwich seen down at Portman Road for 16 years, most likely. So fantastic. Felt like we've been promoted all over again. It was those scenes of elation.
End of the time, my friend. End of the time. There it is. There it is. My new buzzer in your head, Nunez, as sung by Ipswich Town fans yesterday at Portman Road. That is a tune, by the way. I am a big fan of that. I don't know.
Really good, wasn't it? Really
Where's
good.
it come from? Is it because I'm
the Cranberries, isn't it? Zombie. I think.
Oh yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know. I was trying to think yesterday. Where has that come from? It is some chant. Colin says Blue Action do marvellous work. I thought yesterday was brilliant from Blue Action. I thought yesterday was brilliant from the club.
Really good. Yeah.
The pyro was back before the game, which was nice to see, making it a big occasion as they walked out. And extra fireworks as well. Don't think that wasn't noticed.
Yeah.
Cobble stand. Extra fireworks.
You want the blue and white going off in front of the yellow and green, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, most people walking up the steps in the cobble stands were covered in blue. And I couldn't help but think of you, Matt, from your comments on the Wednesday on the match preview show that we did.
Like Smurfs.
The three of us. I know where you've been. I know where you've been.
There's no getting away from it. You was at the parade there before the game started. Yeah.
Yeah. It's massive Ryder Cup song. There you go. I wouldn't know. Blaze Dog. The two games I've seen Kipre in, he's been outstanding. The guy is a mountain. Never see him run and makes it look easy. Nathan's so proud of the boys for showing up Sunday to the group that will get us back into the Premier League again, and can't believe we signed Karius. He was incredible on Sunday. I should say the show is partnered with Match Bingo, who also brings us our Flashpoints. So the Flashpoints with Match Bingo transform. Remember the word town, all in caps, because we're partnered with Match Bingo to bring you a deposit bonus. You can get a 200% deposit bonus by using the word town, all in caps. While the deposit bonus is bonus cash, it can't be withdrawn, but the winnings can be. Terms and conditions apply. Over 18s only. Please, whatever you do, gamble responsibly. Visit begambleaware.org for more information. Links in the description, or scan the QR code on the screen to play now. The one next to their logo, which I won't point to, it's the purple one that says Match Bingo on it. I won't point because I still haven't worked out. I do know my left and rights. I can assure you at home. But I can't.
Here, though, isn't it? Yeah.
But it's one of those two. One goes
if I look that way, it's facing you. But when I watch it back on telly at night, because I'm a little narcissistic like that, I'm facing the wrong way. So I never know which one I need to look at to make it. One of you on the match preview show said, "Oh, I'll help you out. It's here." I watched it back, and you pointed to the wrong one. Cheers, lads. Appreciate the help there. So Flashpoints, there was lots of them yesterday, but Town got off to the dream start, going a goal up through a set piece, which I have to say they were working on them before the game, which we spoke about on the fan reaction show, Matt. Kipre scored the goal. He started ahead of Greaves. So there's two things in one there, Ben. First of all, the start for Kipre. What were your thoughts on that? Starting over Jacob Greaves. We look a better team with him in defence, and it's really interesting because Kieran is a manager who plays the money, and I think that's a little bit of what Wolfenden was kind of alluding to. That if he spends the money, he's going to play it, but he didn't in this match, and I'm thinking, you don't trust Greaves for this, and to be honest with you, I think that kind of mimics a lot of Town fans. It's a strong opinion, but I think he's been an absolute pony since he's been here. I think nowhere near worth the money, and if he's got a higher ceiling, he's at least got to get a first step on the ladder to get himself up to the ceiling, and he hasn't done it for me yet. So when it really mattered, when we needed that win, we had to have that win, he didn't trust him, and Kipre comes in, and we thought Sheffield United was like, okay, they're a bit crap, any central defence is going to look good against them, so we never really truly had that test, did we? But then he does it against Norwich, and he just balances. And I'll tell you what, I've got a lot of questions about the first 15 minutes, whatever the hell was going through O'Shea's head. But O'Shea looks a more confident captain with Kipre next to him. And it goes back to the thing I've said since day one in this podcast. Give me a player that makes the man next to him play better. And that's a player you keep in your team. And I think Kipre does that for O'Shea. And from a set piece, Johnny on the spot, brilliant goal. And he seems like a really nice guy as well. And I hope Kieran McKenna has the courage to keep him in, because for me, Greaves gets nowhere near that back line. Not while Kipre's playing like that.
It's amazing what a win and a video release of a motivational team talk can do isn't it, Matt? Because Darragh O'Shea was loose with passes in those particularly first 5-10 minutes. He didn't settle straight away into the game. There was some loose passes, but that team tour, that win, this moment, and Kipri next to him, they're a partnership, and both have come out of the game in so much better light than they perhaps went into it.
Yeah, once again, we mentioned this in the last show, didn't we? Once again, we've seen Greaves come out the side with no explanation, particularly. It might have been post-match, I've not seen it. And Kipre comes in, and then Kipre took his chance, didn't he? Because as everyone's saying, he's got Sargent in his back pocket, and he scores as well. He scores the opening goal. I mean, so all the stars were aligned for Kipre. Yeah, well, the guys are saying he used to be a striker. I mean, it was a wonder. I mean, as frustrated as I was with O'Shea, I mean, what a weird first half an hour or so that he had. Does that fantastic team talk in the huddle. Bit loose with the passing. I mean, Norwich were pushing up a little bit with wing backs, weren't they, in that sort of opening spell? Is it Fisher and Stracy? I don't know how you say it.
Fisher's
either side.
Back, yeah.
Yes, I think they were, they weren't giving him too much time on the ball. But we've discussed this before, haven't we? This passing out from the back, and of course then O'Shea does the fantastic header at the far post that allows Kipre to chest head, whatever it was, and volley the ball in. But I mean, how can you drop Kipre for what's the next game? Borough on that Friday night, isn't it? Week Friday. How can you drop him after that performance? But as we know,
Friday,
and as Luke Wolfenden alluded to in his commentary press, if you'd seen it, Ipswich make team changes without any kind of rationale.
Yeah,
which is interesting to me. So don't be surprised if Greaves is to come back into the side against Borough for whatever reason. But we saw it last season, didn't we? Constantly saw Greaves and Burgess being rotated round. Yeah. I think we're going to see that this season as well.
And that's what annoys me. That's probably would be into my town in 60 is how annoying it is that off the back of this emotional win, this big win, this character win, as many words you want to put into this win, we now can't get back on the grass and play a game of football because we've got another stupid international break coming up. This football club has just gone through, a really emotional win, a really big win, a character building win, all these different things that, it needed after a summer of change and evolution. The best thing this club wants to do now is play a game of football with this feeling and this togetherness. It doesn't want to stop to go and watch whoever you're going to go and watch play in meaningless friendlies, frankly. After 3.5 weeks ago, they were doing the same thing. It annoys me. I realised this morning, and I'm looking at the content schedule for the shows and thinking, you know what? It really needs to play. But you're right on Kipre. You're right on O'Shea. Rob says, has he let Sargent out of his pocket yet so he can get back to Norfolk? Them two together. Ben, you said it on the preview show. That would be the battle of the game. Whoever plays centre back for Ipswich Town Football Club, and arguably the Championship's best striker. If whoever wins that wins the game, and I think you nailed it there because those two kept Josh Sargent quiet.
Well, he didn't look like the Championship's best striker yesterday, did he? I think he had about 30 touches.
I think I read he had 3 times more touches in his own box than ours. I think it was something like 6-2. Which is a hell of a thing. And it just goes to show, doesn't it? It made me think of Hurst, actually, that I bemoan Hurst a bit, and he's not ever going to be a striker to lead the line for what we're having ambitions of. But Hurst is a great striker when his balls are fed to him, when that through ball, and he can run onto a through ball. You just saw the best striker in the Championship look absolute pony because he was completely starved of any service, Yeah. And I would argue a lot of the times when we've not been playing well, that's probably Hurst's, what befalls upon him. But the other side of it is that we shut him up so completely, we won the game from the back, which is what any great team does.
Agreed. Obviously, the goal came for a set piece, a well-worked set piece. O'Shea just drifts round to the back post, and his job there is one of two things. If you can't get the header on goal, knock it back across the face of the goal. He knocks it across the face of the goal, and Kipre has moved into a wonderful position. It's really high-level execution stuff from Mark Hudson. Now, I obviously knock our set pieces on a regular basis, so credit where credit is due. Really good execution, really good game plan from Mark Hudson there to drift the centre-half around the back post, drift your centre-half into the middle, and see what can happen from there. But then we saw the ugly side of the set pieces.
Well, O'Shea's good at that, though, Mine, before we go on to the other one. O'Shea's excellent at that, and was one of the strengths he had when Chris told us when he was at West Brom, he'll get assists in the box, for you to score. And, they've been few and far between, to be honest, in his Town career, but he delivered when it mattered in the derby, which is fantastic.
Yeah. And what was also pleasing from a set piece point of view is that you've not just got one person around that knockdown. You've got 2 or 3 Town players. It's really good stuff, really good stuff. So, kudos to Mark Hudson. But then the set piece goal we conceded, it's not going too much credit because the opposition are paid to play as well. They are paid to do their own jobs and have their own routines. And it's a really good routine. They have 2 players in yesterday.
It was lucky. He can see you on the floor and his head and goes in.
It takes
very
lucky.
Very lucky.
If I'm critical, I haven't seen it from behind the goal, but I don't know. I would like my goalkeeper to get a hand to it, but it is a deflection. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt with it. And I'm just going to say, we clear the second point of contact falls to the player. They're put in that position to do exactly what he did. If that ball falls to you, your job is to have a shot on goal. He does it.
O'Shea who headed it out? I think it was O'Shea who headed it out.
I think it was. Yes, I think it was. Yeah. So I'm not going to go too much into detail about what we did wrong there because they're paid to play as well. They're professional players and they did their job as well as we did. So on to the second goal. Jaden Magician Philogene gets the ball, turns the Norwich City player, who, if I'm critical, if I'm a Norwich fan, I'm saying, please foul him, take a yellow card for the team.
It was Matson, Pele Matson is the guy who they brought in to replace Nunez.
Yeah.
Who Philogene beats to the ball,
as Mick McCarthy would say, that went well. So he turns him, and then he's coming down on the Norwich City goal. And I've seen some criticism of the Norwich City goalkeeper, which I think is grossly unfair because that is an absolute beautiful strike from Jaden. I don't know if he's left or right-footed Philogene because he can eat with both. It's a left-footed strike from Jaden. It whistles in the net. 45th minute. Town 2-1 up. Matt, Jaden Philogene. Just this is a player that's fast becoming our best player.
Yeah, who would have thought we'd have said that back in January? We'd have these moments. Him scoring thunderbolts against Norwich in the derby. Come October after he'd signed in January and looked completely disinterested. But I suppose he's picked up the mantle from Amari, hasn't he? I mean, just tremendous. I do love how Philogene challenges for the ball. He doesn't put in a full-blooded tackle or anything, does he? He sort of dangles a foot or will rotate 360 into a challenge and come out with the ball like he did with Matson yesterday. And as soon as he hit that, I mean, with me in the Pioneer, I was over his right shoulder a little bit. You could see that was going to go in. I mean, certainly that keeper, Kovacic, I think it is. He was at fault for the first goal, wasn't he? In terms of he could have caught that, but he tips it for a corner and we score from it. I don't think there was much that he could have done about the Philogene strike. I think he actually gets a finger to it, tips it onto the bar and in.
He does get a fingertip to it. Yeah, no, he does.
Yeah.
He does get a fingertip.
One of the great derby goals. Well, I mean, we said it yesterday outside the ground, didn't we? One of the great East Anglian derby goals. I mean, I'm trying to think. I know Jimmy Bullard's strike was brilliant, but we were losing 4-1 at the time or 5-1, whatever it was. They didn't really count for anything.
No.
Maybe Alex Maffey's first, memory serves me right, it's 27 years ago, I think.
The first is a really good goal from a throw. Absolutely right. It was a great goal from Philogene. Great performance. And as I say, far becoming our best player. Ben is back. Welcome back, Ben. David's gifted 1 membership. David, thank you much for your generosity. We appreciate it. Off the bar too, says Mike D. It's a stunner. It was a beautiful.
I was reading that there was a lot of the Norwich fans were saying that the Philogene goal was a deflection. It was a lucky deflection, which is why I thought, what on earth planet are you living on?
Yeah, but Norwich fans also think we overpaid on Nunez and that one pre-assist. And this week I'm allowing pre-assists. Was well and truly worth every penny of the £7.5 million.
I think Nunez is worth the fee. Just all the celebrations at the end yesterday, picking up the corner flag and all that kind of stuff.
Do you know
that's worth 10 million alone, isn't it?
Do you know he's playing it exactly how I would play it, right? You're never going to be seen the same way in Norfolk again. Go all in. Go all in. Push every single chip in the middle and go all in. Do what he's doing. I think it's brilliant. And he'll be a legend in a Town shirt for the rest of my life, certainly.
Well, it started with him being on the front of the programme, wasn't it? He starts on the front of the programme and then the weekend ends with him wielding the corner flag and holding that tweet from Chris Reeve as a banner. Build the statue.
I thought that was a Photoshop. I didn't think that was real. It turns out it was real. I thought
it was real, yeah. After he'd scored against us in the free kick 2 seasons ago.
You've got to wonder, what the hell did Norwich do to piss him off that much?
I know. I was thinking that. Yeah, absolutely. A bit of pantomime involved, maybe, but who knows what goes on behind the scenes? Well, who knows what's going on behind the scenes at Norwich full stop? I mean, look, The question mark about Manning, that Ben Napper they bought in doesn't seem to be doing the business. Like you said, Martin, they're in that space, aren't they? You're going to say, you said.
I said to you today, didn't I? They're in that space post Roy Keane that we were in. They're in that space.
Exactly. That's the revolutions part.
It
is. Just reading their forums as I did last night, I got so throwback to end of Keane day vibes, where it was
so true. Fans
becoming apathy setting in. Is our voice going to be heard? What's the point? They've just sort of made a little bit of an own goal from the outside looking in terms of fans being moved from that. That was the day before the derby. Yeah. And
they're moving from the river stand or something.
Yeah, they're moving. It's all musical chairs down at Carrow Road. And but I frankly couldn't care. Craig says, this is why McKenna paused pursued Philogene for so long. Wouldn't be surprised if Premier League teams were interested, says Craig. Great to see this, Craig, by the way.
I'll tell you right now, he's being watched. Right now, he's being watched. And he's in the competition with himself for goal of the month. I mean, he's only up against him. But there'll be a lot of teams thinking, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, but what we'll also say, for me, is Kieran McKenna's man who can coach players to brilliance, because the Philogene of a year ago, or come back in January, was disinterested, lacking energy, lacking that buzz. His body language was off. He looked untrainable, because you can't. It's very hard to out-train a bad attitude. You can train ability, but whatever Kieran McKenna's done, you think there's a man who has a higher ceiling than Amari potentially. I mean, it depends how Amari went through the same thing. He had to play games, and Amari went up and up and up and up. And in Philogene, look, I mean, if we don't go up this year, that could be one hell of an asset to sell, and we get to dictate the price of it because there's no sell-ons or anything. So interesting, and it would fit the player model, wouldn't it? Develop the players, reach their heights, sell them off. Suits what the club are doing.
What I would say is probably confidence. He strikes me as a confidence player, and he's got the confidence 100%. Flowing now, and maybe the move, settling, and all these different things that as players, as fans of a football club watching players, we don't sometimes factor in that it is a big move for a human being to move 30 miles, 20 miles, and
find stepping up in the sorry, stepping up in the absence of Broadhead and Amari now, isn't he? Those kind of competition have gone for the places, and McKenna's probably said to him, "You're the main man there with Jack Clark. We want. I mean, it's no surprise to me that Jack Clark started scoring goals again, as we saw yesterday. I mean, it's just chalk and cheese with Philogene, and it's just tremendous to see. We said the other day, what could he actually end up? I mean, he's got 5 goals in 3 games now, home games. We want to see him start doing this away as well. But at the moment, you'd think he'd scored 20 plus goals, wouldn't you? Where he's going at the moment.
Yeah. Well, every time he hits the ball, you think it's going to be in the back of the net.
Yeah.
It's just fun to watch. We have a Norwich fan in our chat. Welcome. You're welcome in. All people are welcome
coming in, man.
Nigel says, spot on. The cycle's definitely changed. Your club has good owners and a very good manager and team. Appreciate the comment, Nigel. Thank you very much. He's just come to check out a good side. That's all he's done.
They could end up having Russell Martin there before long.
Do a Nunes. Come over to the blue side.
I knew.
Maybe a corner flag.
I knew that comment today was coming. Russell Martin, Norwich City. I mean, do you know what? Yeah, go. Yeah, I'm up for that. Go on then, Russell.
I do hope, just putting, as Colin said yesterday, we've said on this show for putting rivalries aside, I do hope it works out for Liam Manning, because we know what's happened in his personal life, and obviously he started his coaching career at Town. I know people that have done their coaching badges with him. Said he was a really nice guy.
I don't know what happened in this. I see it all over the forums, but I don't know. Obviously, something awful.
They had a bereavement in his family. Yeah.
Right, okay.
So I just hope it does work out for him. But Norwich fans are kind of losing patience a little bit, and obviously Russell Martin played for them, captained them.
I don't think Napper gets rid of him, because if he's going to get rid of him, that's 2 for 2. That makes his own position very, very vulnerable, I think. So I think Napper, to shore up his position, you ain't going to get rid of his second manager on the bounce like that. I think
not this early. No. Certainly not.
They pulled the trigger too early on. What was his name? Thorpe, whatever his name was.
Thorpe. Yeah. Look, they're where we are post Keane. Hopefully, you want it to work out for Manning, because obviously it's Ipswich Town connection. He's a good man. You want it to work out for him. If it doesn't, from a Town's perspective, you then want Norwich to do what Town did and cycle through managers, and just goes from one bad manager to another bad manager to another one, and just see where the ride takes you. It took us to Burton. So we'll see where it takes you.
Mm.
Let's see where it takes you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. With Luke Garbutt at left back, we all thought we were going to win the league. Right.
Oh, gosh, remember that.
Third goal involved 3 substitutions. So McKenna is working the magic from the bench again. We've got Nunez, delightful pass into Azon, who can't seem to buy a goal at the moment. He loves it in the woodwork. That's twice in 2 home games.
Ben had money on him to score. Ben had money on him to score yesterday as well.
You came within 6 inches of the other post. But yeah, so then Jack Clark follows it up and taps home the winner. You can choose any one of those 3 to talk about: Azon, Nunez, or Jack Clark. I'll start with you, Ben, in case your little lad comes back in again. Who do you want to talk about? And let us know what you think.
I think it was there's a camera angle that looks right down the pitch at Nunez as he done that. And the pass is so simple. In fact, it's probably one of the critiques I have of Kayust, who I'm actually going to say I don't think had a good game yesterday. He's brilliant in spells, but I don't think he was as great as everyone thought. But he did what Kayust tends not to, which is just to find space and pass into it. And it was brilliant. And found Azur, which I'll tell you what, it took Kenyago a year. It took him 1 year to find it. And I think that boy, once he gets his goal, he'll be off. I think I've just got a gut feeling he might turn out to be something really, really special for us, and in the most low-key way possible. And Jack Clark, Jack Clark, he's I think that's 3 in 5, something. He's scoring 4. I think he's got now. Keep scoring, does Jack? Keeps on scoring.
He does. I mean, they all count. Penalties, tap-ins, they all count. And we'll take them any way we can. Matthew Phillips, he left Nunez on the table for you there. He's left an open goal. Are you going to do a Jack Clark and tap it in?
I mean, he came on just at the right time, didn't he? What was it? About the 70th minute mark, wasn't it? To come on, as we thought, give him 20 minutes. We were 2-1 up. So it was the perfect entrance for him, wasn't it? I was disappointed he was wearing the same coloured boots, having worn one black and one white against Portsmouth. He was in all white this time, wasn't he? But yeah, it was a delightful pass. It was very interesting to see one of the guys in the comments, I think it was one of the Norwich fans, saying that Sargent's not been the same player since Nunez left. He's not getting that quality delivery, I guess. But yeah, beautifully weighted pass, which, as much as I liked Kuste against Portsmouth last week, and I thought he did okay yesterday, you don't really get that kind of level of passing into the attacking third from him. But he does a lot of other good things really well. But I mean, Ivan, he hit he hit the left post last week and the right post this week.
Right post this week, yeah.
And then very unlucky. I was thinking of you, Ben, thinking that was going to go over the line.
I was thinking of me.
a few quid. But thank God Jack Clark was there, and of course he taps it in. And it was like that moment when Amari got us promoted against Huddersfield. You knew the points was in the bag, and the 16 years was done and dusted. So brilliant, and great to see all 3 subs there playing the part in that move. Because what did we used to lament about the Premier League? Our subs had no impact at all in games, which is why we dropped 30+ points from winning positions, because we just didn't have the strength in depth at that level to capitalise from winning positions. But of course now we do, and we've seen it in the last time we was in the champ, didn't we?
What do you guys think of? I'm thinking away from home, and this is how Kieran McKenna has his plan B, to have a 3-man midfield. You've got Matsuzua to break up everything and just tackle everything. You've got Kayus with the skill and the pass and the quick spray outwards, and then you've got Nunez for the direct passes forward. I mean, those are 3 massive strengths as a midfield. And away from home, we don't really seem to do that, because it's either one or the other. If we have Kayus, we don't get the cutting passes, which is why Hurst is not performing as well this season. If we get Nunez in here, he's got a great through ball, but he's not great sprinting out to the wings from what I've seen, and that's how we kind of play our football. But if you combine all 3 of them with a change of formation, you get one of everything. So you get the person who's got to punch the tackle, you get the person who controls the play and distributes, and you get the person who's got the through ball. But I don't think we've ever played a 3-man midfield so much as you can do it since McKenna's been here.
No, I would go 3 in midfield away from home. I like that.
Away from home,
particularly with Kayus' ability to turn the ball. If you play him in that, if you play a triangle and Nunez and Matassi were just behind Kayus, where Kayus can turn on the ball and really get at a back 4. Nunez can thread passes, and Matt Seawood can just do what he does best, and that is run a midfield and dominate the midfield. I'm for it. 50 euros from David. David, thank you very much for the super sticker. We really appreciate it. Thank you, David. Really, honestly, appreciate it. James says, Kit Bray man of the match yesterday. We've got George. My voice is still not recovered from yesterday. Lee's telling us that Swanwick has pulled out of the Ireland squad due to injury, which he has. I've just looked it up as you were talking.
Really?
Swanwick has pulled out the Ireland squad due to injury.
He ran his bollocks off yesterday, though. I mean,
he really did.
We've got a lot of critique about he's not finding goals this season, which is worrying because Hurst isn't really doing it either, although he's got a few. But I tell you what, I wonder if a player who's meant to score goals can work hard enough where it almost doesn't matter. Like that guy must have been carried off the pitch yesterday, and I'll always love a player who just gives everything till the second he went off.
Agreed.
He certainly doesn't look like a player that scored 30 goals for Blackburn or wherever it was, does he? No. He doesn't seem to have that. And of course, we're a couple of seasons removed from that now, I suppose. And he only got 4 in the Premier League and still to score at Portman Road, as we keep saying. I'm desperate for him to score at Portman Road because the floodgates might open, as they have done for Philogene, right? You suddenly get that first goal and then suddenly he might do it. Sammy might do it for him. It'd be fantastic if he does.
Sure. I think it's coming, and I think we're playing a lot more balls in behind a back line now, particularly at home, than we had done in the last couple of years. I think he thrives on that. He feeds on that, and he's going to score sooner or later. It's just a matter of time. But yesterday, as you say, Ben, he really worked himself into the ground, and just as important as that, his leadership. So many times from my position in the cupboard, I could see him talking to Valiegli, picking him up, pointing, really being that leader, that elder statesman of the football club.
Yeah, he had a really good run, didn't he, down the right-hand side and crossed it in for Hurst. Hurst should have scored that. He completely, I think the commentators...
Oh, he did. That was so frustrating. Gavin Law in the comments has said, away from home specifically, would you drop Hurst? Because I think that's really symptomatic of Hurst yesterday, that we all like him and we all know he can run onto a through ball. But those simple ones like that, it's just... And I know he's got a few goals, but take away the pens. It's just not good enough for what we're trying to do this season. And I think come January, we are all in for a striker in that market. You could argue that's all we actually need, is spend the money on the damn striker. I don't know where from.
Can we go and do it twice up the road? Can we just phone up Ben Napper and say...
Sergeant's wasted there. Come here.
We can say no one noticed the first transfer we did together. So can we do
got away with that one? Yeah.
Second one, please? Can't see him saying.
I mean, look, we've said this right from the start of the season. Really, you're playing someone who was second fiddle last season in the main role, albeit in a division below. We kind of said that to the guys around me yesterday. Really, so Hurst is sort of like the Delap light, really, isn't he? Yeah. He tries to play in the same fashion, but doesn't have the physicality, does he? So he actually, because you never shaking Delap off the ball, were you? You had to foul him and would get a free kick in and around the box. Hurst just seems, even though he's a big guy, he just doesn't quite have that physicality and ends up on his backside. And whilst he sat there looking for a free kick and we're all up, the opposition are breaking away. He just hasn't quite got the same level.
As well, had a great opportunity and he hit it with his left, and it was saved by the Norwich City
goalkeeper. But even the hold-up play, though, I mean, Hurst was known for the hold-up play. Now you could argue that he was in sort of synergy with say, with Wes Burns and with Leif going down the left. Although Leif he's only starting to do that the last couple of games. But that hold-up play was his superpower. Even that bit of his game, I feel, has dropped quite significantly. And if he does just that to bring others in, then great. That's what you do. Everyone has a superpower. Nunes is the through ball. Kayust is the skill and the composure. Matasui is the tackle. But his was holding the ball from he can dead drop it and hold it and then spread it out. That's completely disappeared from his game.
Yeah, look, it wasn't great yesterday, his hold-up play. It was bouncing too far away from it. I have dropped the links. Let's go from the stands. So we've got our voicemail service coming in very shortly. For those that don't know, we have a voicemail service now. That's right. You can leave your opinions, your questions, your rants, your celebrations, whatever you want it to be, you can leave it. It's as easy as just literally hitting record on your phone by clicking the link, and then you leave a voicemail, just as I'm doing right now. Literally leaving myself a voicemail, and that'll be played on the next Talking Town show. So there we go. Ben, Matt, the Gov, we all say hello to future me. There we go. But then you can do it. It's as easy as that. It's as easy as leaving a WhatsApp voice message. So boys, are you ready to hear the voicemail service this week. All right. I haven't emptied it since Bristol City. So there might be some Bristol City ones on there. All right. But are you ready?
Why didn't Jaden Philogene start the match against Bristol City? I can understand him dropping, or not dropping, but resting Cayuste. Maybe Hurst, give Azon a run out. But Jaden Philogene on top of his game, full of confidence, championship player of the moment, and he's not playing. He can play 3 matches a week. It's ridiculous. He's 21. Don't usually question McKenna at all. But this time, I'm left thinking, why didn't he play Philogene? McAteer's been very average since he came in, and he just seems to play the ball into players and try and run around them. He's played a couple of good balls here and there. And Igali. Why isn't Igali in the mix? Comes on 10 minutes to go. Not sure why Jaden Philogene isn't starting. Unless he's got a knock. It doesn't make any sense. Cheers. Up at town.
Up at town.
I had to watch the game on mute yesterday on the laptop because the missus had use of the main telly. Compromises. Every time I looked up, we had the ball. We went right, we went left, we went down the middle, and we recycled the ball. It was very much like watching Arsenal versus Newcastle. I appreciate we are not on their level, but the game's still the same. Inviting us onto them, and we couldn't do what Arsenal do, which is, if you can't break through playing fancy football, get a ball in the box. Give their centre-half something to do in the air, because Matsuo reads the game so well, and a lot of the players read the game really well. If you go route one, them second balls, you can probably think they're going to win 4 out of 5 of those and start an attack in that final third from a deflected cross or something. You've got to get more balls in the box. We weren't breaking down the channels. I think Leif had a couple of breaks away. But that final product again, once we unlock that, I'll be a lot more confident. But these 10 out of 10s, 9 out of 10 confidence ratings, I don't think we've seen anywhere near enough to be that confident. I think we're sitting at a 5 and a 6.
We have
maybe
now
a 7 home games. All on Sunday now to recover this week. I think we might start losing some of the fan base if we don't get 3 points on Sunday. Up the town.
In your head, in your head, Nunes.
Good voice.
Hi, Gov. It was a fantastic result yesterday. Loved every minute of it. I was in tears at the end when the whistle finally went. I don't believe a single player put the foot wrong, and we started slow, but we ended up playing well, and we had some cracking goals, and we got the result that we wanted. We'll have a nice break now, and we move on to the next one.
What's in your head? Nunes. What's in your head? Love it. The morning after, I've got virtually no voice left. What a day. Live long in the memories.
Certainly will.
We gone into it the first time ever. Well, not ever, but first time in a lot of years that we've actually had the better squad going into it. What a performance. Every single player played well. Let's ignore O'Shea's poor passing for the first 20 minutes or so. But after that, we settled and everyone was fantastic. I feel sorry for Azon because it's only a matter of time before he starts scoring, doing loads of effort. Hurst did well. Love it.
What a fantastic win that was. The most relaxed I've ever been before a local derby.
Ando!
I have to say.
Sando.
Because I knew we had better players. And although it was Norwich, I really thought we were going to win the game. And what a goal from Philogene. The best goal you're ever going to see in a local derby. Without doubt.
Agreed.
Onwards and upwards. We'd moved up the table. Game in hand. Move to third, I think. The team is starting to settle down. The quality's going to start to show through. And we're going to rise to the top of the table.
I think we're not, actually.
So I thought yesterday was a great result. The only thing I would say after yesterday, and I wouldn't say it's fully to do with yesterday's game, is we're now hearing rumblings of politics behind the scenes after Luke Wolfenden's little press conference for Coventry. Now, does Kipre coming back into the starting lineup now mean that those backstage politics are now over and Kipre will now get a prolonged run?
Yes, we have beaten them. We have beaten Norwich City after 16 long years. I have to say it. Delia Smith, Alan Partridge, Stephen Fry, Ed Balls, the Coleman Mustard Men, the fine people of the Norfolk Broads, the Cathedral Choir, Admiral Lord Nelson, you great city of Norwich, your boys took one hell of a beating. Oh yes, one hell of a beating.
And there we go. Those were the voicemails from Wednesday. I know you couldn't hear them, Ben, so bear with me. But they were the voicemails.
That was good. I enjoyed that last one. Those voicemails are very interesting, aren't they? Because we start off with the Bristol City ones.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. Everyone's doom and gloom about how we played at Bristol City and why Philogene wasn't playing and why McAteer was there. And then obviously everyone just ecstatic over what happened yesterday. Shows you the difference between the home form and the away form, doesn't it?
Absolutely. The roller coaster ride of being a Town fan.
Yeah.
Wednesday night. And I appreciate every single one of those. You can leave a voicemail anytime. Morning, noon, night, 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 10 in the morning, whatever. Question, opinions, rants,
mustard men.
praise. That was great, wasn't it? Copman's mustard men. Anytime you want, in-game, out of game, just leave them. Use the link that's on the screen right now. Speakpipe.com/Talking Town. You don't even have to leave your name or any details. I may regret ever saying that out loud. There we go. Right, moving it on. I was about Leander's actually waiting, and I'm sure he said third, Matt.
He did. He obviously had to get his too many in celebration after those.
He's getting ahead of himself a little bit. But Ben, I want to talk about Leif Davis because this is a player that stood at the football club. All his teammates in the summer, they went on to you could argue bigger and better things. That is up for an opinion, a debate in its own right. But he stayed. And yesterday, there's videos of him walking around the ground, singing the song. He's performing at a high level. I've got a lot of love for this player. What are your thoughts on Leif's performance yesterday and, of course, the season as well?
I think he was on the pitch as close to what we've got as like kind of one of our own, wasn't he, really? I think by his own admission, he went through a bit of a period where he was finding it a bit difficult. And I think he struggled with his own place within the team with the transition of players, particularly those around him. You think he didn't have that kind of psychic connection with Burns. And I would even argue behind him, I think him and ex-Man United captain right back we had, what's his name? Tuanzebe.
Axel Tuanzebe.
There was a real great kind of almost psychic connection. Not Tuanzebe, no, sorry, the other side. Who was ahead of Leif last season? Who was ahead of him on the left?
There's never anybody ahead of Leif Davis, Ben.
That's quite true.
Has the rest
and maybe
gone?
That's the problem because someone is ahead of him now, someone who does run the byline in Jack. But I think he's gotten a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better as the season has gone on. And he said it in the kind of the interviews is that he feels like his confidence is coming back, and we're now seeing that Leif Davis of 2 years ago. Bombing down the side there. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, bombing down the side there, and just I think that's about the developing relationship with those new players on the pitch. You have Broadhead and to a lesser degree Smolix because he's not starting every game, but Broadhead, it was psychic. But it takes time to build psychic connection with players to just know you're going to put a ball there, or if you're going to run ahead, they're going to cover your back. And I think that's coming now. I think Leif Davis is symbolic of the squad coming together, building those relationships. So as he gets to know them, it allows him to be him. Does that make sense? Yeah. And you've seen it on the pitch because he looks hungry. He looks like he's having fun again. And it wasn't the case, I think, last season or the beginning of this season. It's good to see. It's great to see.
And I'm sorry I didn't help you out there when you were making the point. It was like watching Town at a corner. I was mesmerised by how badly it was going, and I was thinking, I can't help him, but I don't know what the answer is. Matt, very quickly
no
before.
one could remember he was in front of Davis last season because McKenna kept changing that 3, didn't he?
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
right. Nobody was.
Yeah. But now when we play particularly Jack in front of him, he is in those positions. I know he cuts in a bit, but he's meant to be the byline player, so he should be in his strengths covering the space that Leif Davis used to cover. So he's had to find his new place within this new system, and credit to a quality player, they will adapt to the systems that they're put in, and Leif Davis, I think, is doing just that.
Okay, very quickly before we bring Lee Anderson in, Matt, can't let a show go past without mentioning Mata Siwa.
Yep.
Absolutely masterful performance, a brilliant player, dominating player. Portman Road is his.
Yeah, tremendous. I loved his little piece of content on the pitch yesterday as well. The derby's ours, he said down the camera, didn't he? Which had a big gleaming smile as well, which was wonderful. Yeah, I mean, look, you keep saying it, Martin. I mean, how good is Mata Siwa? He's been brought in to play in the Premier League, hasn't he? Absolutely. Seamlessly stepped into Morsey's boots. Big boots to fill. Heartbeat at the side. He's done it effortlessly. And we said, look, he looks like he's going to be better than Morsey. And, he is. He does fantastically well. Even down to the point where he gets booked. I mean, I think he's right on the verge. If he got booked yesterday, he would have missed the Borough against thing.
Middlesbrough, yeah.
So you might have seen a partnership of Nunez in the CDM role with Cahuste next to him. I mean, that is coming, isn't it? He's not going to go the whole season without another yellow, is he? But he was just head and shoulders above that Norwich midfield, which was that Kenny McLean, top pitch, I think.
Yeah.
Cranach, is it? The other kid, and obviously that Pele Matson was in there. I mean, him and Cahuste were just levels above. I mean, Mata Siwa's got to be one of the best central defensive midfielders in the division. Got to be. I mean, show me someone who's better than that. He literally is the maestro. And, he's only been at the club playing competitive games for 2 months. So who knows what he's going to be like in the second half of the season.
Agreed.
Just tremendous.
And what you saw yesterday with the third goal sums up Mata Siwa and what I've been saying for weeks is that he always looks to play forward, wins the ball, could easily go backwards, could easily go back to O'Shea or Kipri, etc. Doesn't. Makes the turn, looks to play forward, finds Nunez finds Azon finds the post, as he's done, and then Clark finishes in, and Norwich are done, dusted.
It's too easy for him. It's just too. I mean, it helps that he's played with Cahuste in France before, so that's good. Maybe that was a reasoning behind pairing those two together. But it just seems he's like Philogene in a way. He seems a level above this division.
Yeah,
agreed. Yeah, agreed. And it just looks better and better.
I was thinking of you, Gav, when we got Cahuste, and you were saying like, Cahuste in this division is like a cheat code. Do you feel the same about Cahuste based on what you've seen? I think we can agree. Philogene Sedan, brilliant, and also he just looks a cut above, like he's in the wrong league, or he's in that league between leagues. But so you kind of do agree that Cahuste so far, it kind of feels like he's too good for what's around him.
I haven't, and I know we're only 9 games into the season, but I haven't yet seen a better championship midfield player that can carry the ball as well as Cahuste, who can turn and then carry the ball as well as Cahuste can. I just haven't seen it yet. It's still an early season. They might be one that eventually comes down to Portman Road and shows me that he's a better option. But for me, Cahuste is a player that perhaps should be playing in the Premier League, but isn't for whatever reason. He couldn't get no team was was clearly keen on making that move, and it's our benefit. And what you're seeing now is a player like Mata Siwa, who will be playing in the Premier League next season. Rob says, anyone seen Cahuste send that Norwich midfield player that turn?
The turn. Yeah, it's like the Philogene tackle turn, isn't it? That was a great. But then actually, that's a very good illustration of what Ben said earlier. You see the highs and lows of him there. Great turn, breaks over the ball, loses it.
Yeah. But it wasn't the first Norwich player we turned yesterday. Sindra Valiegli in front of me. Oh my days! He put the ball up just long enough for the Norwich left back Fisher to think he had a chance. I think it was Fisher. Long enough to think he had a chance. He came herring in, and it was gone. And just like that, blink of an eye. The Norwich player, I think was Fisher, might not have been, went flying towards the turf, and Egley was away.
Surprised to see Egley. I mean, we did debate that, didn't we, on the other show with Ben? And I thought he might go to McAteer for that kind of safe pair of hands, but he did throw the 19-year-old in. I mean, that exuberance of youth and not really knowing what's at stake potentially, and play with freedom.
That wicked little kind of tap he done over the Norwich player and just left him in the dirt.
Exactly that, yeah.
19 years old, 8 games in, new country.
Yeah.
It's outrageous. And I think it's a sign of things to come.
Yeah.
Agreed. Right,
so.
Lee, sorry, I couldn't wait for so long. I do apologise, Lee. I really
Lee.
Lee, it is great to have you with us. Thank you for your voice. No, I think it was your voice we heard. I just want to question you on the third place that you had us pegged at. I think you might be a bit wrong, my fella.
Done a crystal ball.
I think what I tried to say was if we win our game in hand, we go third.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. No, I know. I'm only teasing.
Oh yeah.
But what were your thoughts? I mean, we heard a little bit on your voice message. Appreciate you leaving one of us on the speakpipe.com/talking town. But what are your thoughts now, more in depth? You know, you've heard the lads. What are your thoughts?
I just go back to when you did the show when you announced the takeover, and I can remember when I came on and everybody was on there saying, you know, what a transformation it's going to be, and all I wanted to do was just beat them up the road. All I wanted to do was beat them up the road. And we should have done it 2 years ago. We were the best side by a mile, but we didn't. But as I said in that little sort of chat thing, which I do recommend to people, please do give it a go. You can press delete if you're not happy. So it doesn't automatically go through. So please give it a go, particularly after you had a few drinks, because I reckon it could be entertaining. But yeah, and I've lost my thread now, but just wanting to win up the road, and not for me, because I've seen it all before. The 16 years makes no. I'm not worried about that. That's nonsense. That's something like 6 seasons, isn't it? It's 14 games over 6 seasons, because we played them 4 times in one of those seasons. Just before you test my maths, so that's quite irrelevant. I mean, they've beaten us once in 5 years, is another way, or whatever it is, and that let them have that. That means absolutely nothing. The bit that I was really pleased for is the youngsters that haven't seen it. My lad was something like 5 the last time in 2009 or something like that. And yesterday, when we sat there and we were all standing up and we were singing Nunez, and I just said to my lad, just look at them. They're going to be devastated in that corner. Just look at them, milk her for everything that it's worth. Because these days don't come around all the time, but when they do, you've really got to lap up. And I think you feel that in the crowd, that, you know, the youngsters have now seen it. And particularly for those of us who live in a multi-occupancy area, for example, you know, I live in Lowestoft. It's half blue and white. It's half yellow and green. And it's not a great sight sometimes when you have to go to work. My lad, half his mates are Norwich fans, half are Ipswich fans. And, you know, he's had to bear the brunt of some banter now, or good-hearted banter, for a few years. So for people like that, it's great. It's just, yesterday was, it felt like a release to some degree, but watching them with their little inflatable snakes and all that, I mean, how pathetic was that? And then some of the crowd, you know, some of the stuff in the crowd, that's what really made it for me.
I've just put that together in my brain. I wonder what the fuck they were. Oh,
snakes.
I thought they were. Okay.
I didn't know what they were.
Snakes.
Of course, they're snakes. Nunez. Oh.
Yeah.
Makes a lot more sense. Fair enough.
But you can imagine sitting there, realising, because the pendulum hasn't swung. The pendulum, and I think, Matt, you mentioned it on the pre-show the other night, the pendulum has never swung. It's always really been blue and white. It's always been blue and white. It has been because of the history of the clubs. They've just had these few years where, after Marcus Evans, as soon as you get rid of a Northern Irish manager, it takes another Northern Irish manager before you beat Norwich again. Okay, but between that time, we were underfunded under Evans, and the club was in decline. I think you've mentioned on the show tonight that role is sort of reversed. But actually, the two clubs in general, Ipswich is still the biggest club with the best history, and we just reaffirmed that. It's just a small little blip
Order restored.
And it's all, and order is restored. And it's great to see, and watching them yesterday sitting there when that Núñez song was going out, they must have been absolutely furious. And that's the bit that I enjoyed the most. I loved all the goals, I loved the game, but watching them sit in that corner suffering is the bit, as a fan, is the bit that I love. That's the bit. And
you're right. Sorry, Lee. You see some of the content that they're doing on the Norwich side of kids going in there with cameras and doing stuff to vlogs and things. All they've ever known, looking at their age, 20-something, probably the same age as your lads, all they've ever known is Norwich beating Ipswich. So now they're actually having to see the other side of the coin for once, the true side of the coin, where we dominate. That's what it's really been like.
Yeah. And I think touch wood, we're going to be managed running in a way that's going to keep that going. Norwich were a yo-yo club in the Premier League, but they did it without real significant backing behind them. Yeah. So fair play to them for the seasons that they spent there. I'll give them a little bit of credit for that. But they haven't got that big investment behind them that we have as well. So that should take us that step to consolidate in the Premier League. 2 years' time, it's going to be a new stand being built behind you, Matt, or above you, Matt. Next 18 months' time, that's going to start, apparently. And then
Go will be on the roof.
Go will be on the roof. Go will be on the roof. So it's it's just great. And I've got all neighbours out the back. They're all Norwich fans. I've had to scoot around a bit, sort of, but I can have a discussion with them.
You need to move, man. You need to move.
Yeah, I was just
no wonder you're on the floor the whole time. You don't want them to see through the window.
but I mean that was the take yesterday, and just one thing I'll say on Núñez, and I don't want to be a party pooper, but let's not make it about him. I loved the celebrations yesterday, but all the other players were then walking off, and he was still running around. So I loved what he did yesterday, but let's not
draw a line now.
Really. We've got to draw a line under that. So that's all I really want to say. Really,
perfect.
Move on as I'm at youngsters. Enjoy it. It's going to happen a lot more now.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Great comments, Lee. Brilliant. Great
Excellent.
stuff.
Lee, appreciate you, buddy. You look after yourself. All right.
Bye, everyone.
All the best. Thanks for being with us. Don't forget Stowmarket Osteopaths, quality care since 1985 for physiotherapy and osteopath services in Stowmarket. I go there myself, so I can speak to how well they treat you. Call 01449 613 633. Freddie's the governor there. Give him a call. Say hello. The Governor Talking Town has sent you. You'll get no preferential treatment, but you will get first-class service. That I can assure you. But until next time, take care. God bless. All the best. Town have beaten Norwich. You've reached the end. Thank you so much for watching. Hit here to subscribe. It's totally free. And hit here for more Talking Town videos. I'll see you on the next one.